actually a sewing room, it is my dining room. Sewing room slash dining room. Anyway, I have quite a lot of sewing to get done. As always, I have left things to the last minute. So we are going on holiday in 3 weeks' time, actually. It's really crept up on me. It's a big holiday, one that we've been saving up for quite a long time. I have had plenty of time to plan sewing for this, but I never seem to get my ideas or inspiration until about 2 to 3 weeks before we go. It happens every single time. So I should know that I'm like that now. Is anyone else like that? Please do let me know. Anyway, I've come to the conclusion now that if I don't get on with this, then it's simply not going to get done. What a revelation. So today I thought I would have a sewing day. I have allocated today to sewing. I've got 2 things I want to get sewn, and in theory they should be reasonably quick makes. They're both things that I've actually made before, so you will have seen them before, probably quite a lot in one of them's case, but nonetheless they are on my list to sew for my holiday or for summertime, springtime, whatever. So I have them all cut out and ready to go. I actually had a really good batch cutting session, which is quite unlike me really. I don't often batch cut. I normally cut, sew like that. But the other day I just felt really inspired to cut out. So when that happens, I just have to go with it and get loads done because, as I say, it doesn't happen very often. So what I'm going to be sewing today is nice easy one to start with. It's another Agnes top, yet another Agnes top. You know I love this pattern, I sew it all the time. It's a great fitted basic top. I have a version of this top sewn up from a pointel jersey, which I got from Minerva a couple of years ago now, I think, and I wear it all the time. I've literally worn it to death. It's quite stretched out now, and even though I definitely still will wear it, I just really wanted to replace it with another one. And I was doing some shopping on the Fabric Godmother website the other day, and I came across this beautiful pointel jersey on their website, which is just so lovely. I've got a real thing at the moment about vintagey style fabrics, and to me this kind of pointel jersey, it just looks really vintage to me. It might not even be vintage in the slightest, but just sort of reminds me of old-fashioned underwear and vests and things like that. I've got a little mark on this here. Luckily that's just a bit of fluff. So this is the pattern on it. I hope you can see on the camera, and obviously I don't want to stretch it too much. It's got a lovely rib design down it, and then every other row we've just got this little pointel lacy pattern on it, and it's a really beautiful ivory colour, so it's a little bit different to my other one. My other one was pure white. This one is definitely more of an ivy cream colour. So yeah, I just bought a metre of that fabric so that I could cut a nice new Agnes top out of it. So that should technically be a nice easy one to just sew up, and then hopefully I can wear that with all of my summery clothes, like my floaty trousers and skirts and shorts and things like that. Then the other thing I want to sew is this blouse. It's the All Me woven top by Stylark. I made this summertime last year, and I think I filmed some of the process in one of my videos. It wasn't really a sew along video, but I'm sure I shared some of it. And if you watched that video, you'll remember probably that I had quite a lot of trouble with the pattern. It's not the most well written of Stylark's patterns, which is a real shame. So I did have a little bit of trouble with it. And I'm hoping that when I come back to sew this for a second time, I might be able to figure out the pattern a little bit better. I think it was one of those things where in hindsight I maybe would have sewn it in a different way, but I'd already started and then I needed to sort of make the best of it. But yeah, we will see. I'm sewing this again because I really do like the style of the pattern. I love the style of the top. It's really pretty. It's got this sort of oversized fit. It's kind of A-line, the blouse, so it's quite nice and floaty, and then it's got a lovely curved hem, and then it's got this big ruffle along the V neckline of the blouse. So a really, really pretty blouse, and I did love it, so I did want to sew it again. And I thought it would just be a lovely one to have in the summertime to wear again with shorts or jeans or whatever you want, really. This is the fabric that I'm going to be sewing this blouse from. Again, don't want to sort of play around with anything too much. This is a Lady McElroy cotton lawn. But to me, it actually feels more like a viscose than a lawn. It's very drapey, it's got a lovely drape to it, and it's really soft and silky, and as you can see the pattern on it, it's just really pretty, really beautiful, isn't it? And I thought it would be lovely for summertime. So I'm hoping for a better experience with this today. We will see. So those are the two things that I would really like to get sewn up today. We will see how we get on. I know I get to a point these days where in the past I would have just been able to carry on and on and on and sew and sew and sew all day, but I'm very much more so now finding that I need to stop and I need to have a break, and I can't really go on for that long. And if I do get to that point, then I definitely don't want to push it. So we'll see how we get on. It's a lovely sunny day today. I'm almost wearing a spring outfit today. I haven't had this toaster sweater out for a long time, and to me this is quite a spring sort of top. It's quite lightweight, it's a French terry. It may be chilly later, I need to change because yesterday was absolutely freezing. I went out to walk the dog and I came back and my hands were like ice. I hadn't taken any gloves with me. It was quite sunny like this, I think. But the sun was definitely deceiving. It was very, very chilly, but we are set for some higher temperatures later in the week, almost up to 16 degrees, though you never know, we might be edging towards spring. Anyway, I'm going to stop chatting now. I'm going to get on with this sewing, otherwise I will never get it done. And I think what I'm going to do is start with the Ormy blouse, because I feel like that's going to be the one that's going to give me the most headache, if anything. So if I get that out of the way, then I've only got my Agnes top to do, which I'm really familiar with. So I'll take you along for the sewing process. We can have a nice sewing day. I will chat along the way as I usually do, and a bit later on in this video I have a lovely fabric delivery which has literally just turned up. I won't show you now because I've talked for too long already, but when we need a little break from sewing I will share with you these lovely new fabrics that have just arrived. They're so pretty for spring. So I'm going to get sewing now and I will catch up with you in a bit. This part of the video is sponsored by Serious Readers. If you've not heard of Serious Readers, they are a lighting company who build bespoke lighting solutions for crafters like you and me who love to work in all weathers at all times of the day but don't want to be hindered by poor lighting solutions, which can make crafting difficult on the eyes, causing eye strain. I have a floor standing HD light which I use all the time for reading in the early morning or evenings, and for knitting, crochet and close-up sewing too. My light has a lightweight base, meaning that I can move it around the house to wherever I need a little bit more focus, such as where I'm cutting out in the dining room or threading up my machines. All Serious Readers lights use something called daylight wavelength technology, which helps to replicate daylight as far as is technically possible. And each light comes with a dimmer and beam width function too, meaning you can get just the right focus wherever you need it. Serious Readers have a really wide range of different HD lights to choose from on their website, and you can even change the colour and accent finishes too to fit in with your own home decor. They also come really highly recommended by optometrists too, so you can be sure that you're in safe hands. There's a link in this video description where you can find out more about Serious Readers and all the lights they have to offer, and if you use my code SALLY you can claim £150 off of any HD light. This offer also includes free UK delivery and a 30-day money-back guarantee too. You'll see my HD light pop up later in this video, but for now, thank you to Serious Readers for sponsoring this part of the video. Okay, we have the flounce done now. If you were more familiar with your rolled hem, you could have done a rolled hem around the edge here. The The pattern actually says to overlock the edge of the flounce and then just turn it under. What I did was overlock and then double turn under, just so that I've got a bit of a neater finish underneath. For some reason I just cannot get on with my rolled hem foot, but I do really need to have a good practice with it, because there's been a few occasions recently when I really could have done with being able to use it. So that's something to add to my list of things to practice with. Anyway, that's done now. So last time I made this blouse, I got in a bit of a muddle with how the pattern suggests you should finish the neckline into the button band. So I'm going to go wayward from the pattern now, and I'm actually going to just finish it in my own way. So the Darling Ranges dress and blouse is a really similar finish, and I think I'm just going to try and do the same finish on this blouse. This one, I just cannot figure out what they're trying to tell you to do, to be honest. So I'm going to go my own way. So basically the neckline is bound all around the edge, and then the flounce and the binding kind of fold into the button band. As best as I can, I'll try and show you a little bit more while I'm doing it. I didn't really want this to become a full sew along, but I will try and tell you the important points. I do like how this hangs. It's cut on the bias, so it does kind of fall in a kind of waterfally way, which is nice. And I also think it kind of hides a few things as well, because it's very difficult when you're sewing this not to stretch anything out, because you're pressing with the iron and the steam and you're rolling things, and yeah, everything is cut so much on a big curve that you do get that kind of stretching out, but it's okay because that's how it's supposed to fall anyway. So what I'm going to do now is just tack this to the neckline of the blouse. There are notches on the blouse for where the flounce starts and stops, so I will tack that, and then I'll have a look at how to finish it in a better way than last time. Right, in the best way that I can, I'll just quickly talk through how I'm finishing the button band. So again, this is how the Darling Ranges dress and blouse is finished, so that's how I know how to do this. It's a really neat finish. So you turn the button band under, I've interfaced that. So I've turned under the button band by 1 centimetre, and then just turned again at the V points to the right side, so right sides together. And then I have used the bias binding piece, which is in the pattern, to just pin all around the edge of the neckline from the V point all around the back of the neck to the other end of the V point, and then I'm enclosing the frill and the body of the blouse. So there's like a sandwich of about 3 layers. So if all goes according to plan, I can sew this binding to the blouse and then turn it to the inside, and then we turn the button band to the wrong side, and that should technically give us a nice neat finish. And that is what we want, because the pattern, as I say, it just doesn't even tell you how to finish the edge of the button band. It just tells you to fold it to the inside and then finish it. I wonder if it's actually trying to tell you how to do it this way, but it's just not written very well. I don't know. Either way, I'm going to have a go at doing it this way this time, so fingers crossed this will work. That is a much neater finish. I'm really happy with that. I do need to go back and just press the frill a little bit more. It's kind of creased up where I've been pressing the binding, but I will do that all at the end. So yeah, very happy with that. So next I did have a little bit of a pucker in my button band there where I was sewing it from the wrong side, so I had to just unpick and go back in and sort that out. So I feel like that's the hardest bit done. Next we need to do the side seams. So I sew the side seams. So again, I'm going a bit rogue from the pattern here because the pattern does tell you to bind the armholes in one straight piece and then kind of join the ends of the binding into the side seams. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do the side seams first and then bind the armhole in the round, because I think, again, that's just going to give me a bit of a neater finish, and we all like a neat finish, don't we? I wanted to mention my overlocker actually, because I said that it had been sent away for a service and I finally got it back. It was away for about 3 weeks in total, and I felt like part of me was actually missing. I hated not having it. It was one of those things I felt like, I said this on Patreon, I think. I feel like I'm repeating myself, but actually I said it over there, not here. You know when you are without a car or something and you think to yourself, oh, I'll just pop down to the shops. Oh no, I can't, I haven't got a car. I was a bit like that with my overlocker. I just kept thinking, I would just quickly sew up a t-shirt. Oh, I haven't got my overlocker. Oh, I'll just do this. Oh, I haven't got my overlocker. I can't do it. And actually that's kind of in a way as well why some of my holiday sewing has been a bit delayed. But I'm very pleased to have it back. But I'm so pleased that I did send it away because it's running so much better now that it's back. So it did have some kind of fall in it. Something was wrong with the timing, and to be honest, I knew that something wasn't quite right with it and hadn't been for a while, but I didn't know if it was just me, like not being able to get the tension right. But I was just finding that the tension wasn't great in whatever I was sewing, and I was just kind of putting up with it. But since it's been back and been sorted out, it's running so much better and sewing so much neater. And the man did say to me that I might have accidentally put in the wrong needles. So you're supposed to use specific needles, obviously, for an overlocker, specific to your machine. And I think somehow I had either ordered some cheap ones and I'd been using those, or somehow I just put in like a sewing machine needle instead, and that could have messed it up, or I could have just run over a pin at some point and that could just mess up the whole timing. So I think if you're like me and you're being lazy, or you're too scared to let your overlocker go, I would say definitely go and get it done, because I'm really pleased that I did get it done. And the sewing machine is running a lot better now as well. That was just serviced, no problems with that, but I did find that it was running a lot smoother. And also my door here has been fixed from when I dropped it off of the shelf, and it didn't ever quite close properly again, so I'm really pleased with that as well. Right, anyway, let's get on with these side seams, shall we? Okay, armholes are now bound. I do love a bias bound armhole. That's what it looks like from the inside, and then from the outside, just nice and neat. And I think that's much better than finishing the binding into the side seams, if I do say so myself. So yeah, all we need to do now is hem and buttonholes. So I think for the hem, all I'm going to do is just simply overlock the bottom and then just turn it under in the same way as I did the frill. I might do a double turnover. I might not, I'm not sure. I'm going to see what it looks like just as an overlock and turn under. And if that works okay, I might just leave it like that, because I don't want too much bulk at the hem. Really pleased with how that's looking. I have not tried it on yet, so fingers crossed it does fit. Obviously I've just followed the sizing and everything of my previous blouse, so it should fit okay, but yeah, I haven't tried it on yet. I just went ahead and finished everything, and of course I could not wait to put the buttons on until later. I just had to have it done. But yeah, I am thrilled with that actually. I feel like the finish and everything is so neat, and this cotton lawn is just hanging so nicely. And I got to use these little vintage buttons. I think these are vintage anyway. I picked them up from a vintage fair, so I guess they should technically be vintage, but I've had these for ages and there were only 5 of them, and I've never in the past sort of had anything that needed just 5 buttons. Whatever I was making either needed more than 5 or less than 5, and I didn't really want to sort of use them and have 2 over, so that just worked out perfectly, and they go so nicely with the colour of this fabric as well. So yeah, that is garment number 1 done. So I need to have a break now. It is lunchtime, it's 10 to 1. Yeah, that was all made and done in the morning, which is good. So I'm going to tidy up, reset myself, tidy up this very messy area and in the kitchen where the ironing board is as well, and have lunch, go for a walk like I normally do, and then come back and hopefully sew up my Agnes top this afternoon. And also I haven't forgotten about showing you the fabric, so I will do that after lunch as well. Really losing the light in here now. As soon as lunchtime hits, the sun just goes around to the front of the house and everything feels so much darker. I love sewing in here in the morning when it's so sunny, but yeah, it does get darker as soon as lunchtime hits. So I'm sorry if the light is not quite as good as it was this morning as we go further into the day. Right, I'll catch up with you in a bit. For my walk now. I had a nice lunch, had a little break, and it was needed. I feel better now, and as you'll notice I've changed my jumper because, as expected, it is actually freezing outside. So the walk was very chilly, and also it's getting quite cold in this room now. And I've also put my light in the background now as well, ready for when it gets darker later. And I also find that having that light there actually gives me a bit better light in the evening or afternoon for my videos as well, so that's good. So just before I quickly pop out and do the school run to get my daughter, I thought I would share these fabrics with you. So I have been waiting for these for such a long time because I ordered them from Selfmade, formerly Soft and Still, and they come from quite far away, so you always do have to be organised enough to wait. My first order of these fabrics actually got lost in the post somewhere, so I'd been waiting about 2 weeks before I even said anything to them, and then they had to resend the order, and then even this order took about 10 days to arrive. So these have been a long time coming, but they are worth it, I have to say. I ordered 2 meters of this lovely viscose crepe, which is fraying a bit actually. This is so pretty, isn't it? I love it. It's crinkly because it is a crepe. It's got a lovely drape to it, but it's actually really quite weighty as well, so that's really good. I ordered this with my Nephiline blouse, I think that's how you say it. I'll put the picture in and the actual name on the screen as well because I'm probably saying it wrong. I thought this would make a really nice version of that blouse, and I did wonder if this would actually work for that blouse because of it being a drapey sort of crepe fabric, whether the pleats would hold and whether the frill would hold around the collar, but because it has got that weight to it, I think it would actually be okay. It would also make a really lovely wrap dress. I think it would make a lovely Annabelle wrap dress as well. So I'm in 2 minds at the moment as to what to make with this, but it's just got this lovely, really pretty yellow ditzy floral print all over it. And again, it just reminds me of like a vintagey fabric. I feel like all the fabrics I'm going for at the moment, I don't know if it's just me, they're probably not vintage inspired at all, but they're just kind of giving me vintage vibes. I don't know why. And then this one is probably my favourite. I didn't expect this to look like this when it came. I thought the print on it would be much smaller, and I didn't realise it was quite so embroidered, but it's absolutely lovely, and I'm so pleased that I brought this. This is a light cotton, so it is a broderie anglaise actually, but it's a really lovely light cotton. It feels to me like a cotton lawn actually, but it's got this lovely pink floral print all over it, and then a really nice stripe of broderie anglaise going down. So that's going to have to be a make, whatever I do make with this, and I don't actually have anything in mind at the moment. I'm going to have to be really, really careful about how I cut this and how I piece the pieces, because it's obviously a very directional print, and you probably can play around with the direction of the embroidery. But yeah, it's going to take some careful thinking, but I'd love to know. Let me know what you would make with this fabric. But even if I just sit and look at it forever, I think I'll be happy because it's so pretty. So those are my two latest fabric buys, and I think they look so pretty together. Anyway, I'm going to go and do the school run now, and then I'm going to come back and get on with my Agnes top. So I've made a little start on the Agnes. I've just done the shoulder seams, and now I'm onto the neckband, and I'm considering trying something. I'm just onto the neckband and I'm considering trying something. So I've been practicing on my sewing machine doing this little shelled edge. It's called a shell tuck on my sewing machine anyway, and it just gives this really nice sort of bumpy scalloped edge, and I've seen lots of tops with necklines like that, and also along the arms as well. So I'm considering giving it a go. It's a little bit scary and risky because obviously if it messes up, it's going to mess up my whole neckline. But what I think I'm going to do is actually do this on the neckline before I insert it into the top, and hopefully that will be okay. So it does stretch it slightly as you're doing it, but what I've found is that if you give it a good steamy press after you've done it, it kind of sets it back to as it should be. So I think I've got enough fabric that if this goes horribly wrong, I can cut a new neckband. So I think I'm going to piece my neckband into the ring and then fold it in half, and then I'm going to do the scallop along the edge before I put it into the top. But I thought that would be just something different to do. I've made so many Agnes tops in the past, so it would be nice to just have one that's slightly different. So on my machine, what you need to do this shell tuck edge, it will be different obviously on your machine probably, or any other machine. You change the foot to the satin stitch foot, and then you have to set it to a certain stitch number. On mine it is stitch 25, but you can see that I've got absolutely loads of stitches on here. Not many of them I actually use, and then you do have to play around with the tension as well. And in the book it did say thread tension will normally be set between 6 to 8, so I've taken it off of auto, and at the moment it's on 7, but I think I'm going to put that back to 6 because a 6 tension gave me a better tension. So okay, let's give this a go. So I quickly scrubbed it with some water and some detergent, and then Googled what to do, and it said to put it straight in the washing machine, so I've just done that now. So I've just popped it in the washing machine to give it a quick wash, and I'm going to see how it turns out. If it doesn't come out, then I might just have to abandon the whole make, because there's no point carrying on with it with a big scorch mark on the front. It's so annoying because I was just thinking as I was pressing that neckline how pleased I was with it. It all got in so neatly. I was so pleased with the scalloped edge, and then that happened. So I'm not quite sure how this video is going to go now. I'm going to see how this washes, see if it washes out. If it washes out, maybe we can continue, but I'm going to have a completely soaked garment that I need to get dried before I can finish the top. If it doesn't come out, then I might just have to abandon it, but I'm going to reorder the fabric and do it again because it was going so nicely and I really want that top now. I'm going to let the washing machine do its job and see what happens. It's a bit weird putting a half sewn garment in the washing machine. I'm not quite sure how that's going to go, and I'm actually really worried that I've really stretched the neckband where I've been scrubbing at the scorch mark. It's a bit later now and the top has been through the wash, and I think unfortunately it is ruined because I don't even know if you'll be able to see this on the camera, because in some lights it looks as though it's hardly there, but then when you look at it in a different light it's really, really obvious. Can you see along here? So I think I've scrubbed out all of the actual brown marks, but I think what's left is actually burnt into the fabric because it just will not come out and it feels funny, like it feels sticky as if it's burnt. So I really don't know what happened there. I did just try to clean my iron and I couldn't even feel anything on it. So something somewhere has burnt onto that and I don't know what. So annoying, and I'm so sad to have to finish the video this way. When things like this happen in a video, my temptation is always to just cut it out and pretend it didn't happen, but I hope you know that I do try to really be honest in my videos, and that's the way sewing goes sometimes, isn't it? I mean, I haven't had a make for absolutely ages that's reduced me to tears, and I did just go and have a little cry over my cup of tea when I was waiting for that washing machine because I just felt so sad about it, because I love the fabric so much and I loved how the edging was going and everything, and it was just so frustrating. But yeah, that is the way it goes sometimes. So I've actually been straight onto the Fabric Godmother website and I've reordered the exact same fabric so that I can make this exact same top again. So what I'm going to do is just wait for that to come. If I have time, then I maybe will make another video making the Agnes top so that I can show you this making process. If I don't have time, then my next video I think is going to be a sewing makes video anyway, where I'll be sharing everything that I've made, and hopefully if the fabric comes in time I might have the new Agnes top. Yeah, we will see. But at least I got one top done today. And I'm really, really pleased with this top. And I'm so glad that I made this one first, because if it had happened the other way around, I probably would have abandoned sewing altogether. At least I have this lovely top that I've sewn today. Maybe I was trying to do too much in one day, who knows? I'm sorry that I don't have a lovely new Agnes top to show you at the end of this video, but I really hope that you've still enjoyed the video up until this point. Thank you so much for coming along for another sewing day with me. I have had a really, really lovely day up until that point. I was actually thinking, as I said, as I was ironing that neckband, what a lovely day I've had. I've just really enjoyed all of the sewing that I was doing up until that point, of course, but I was really sort of taking my time and trying to enjoy the whole process. I'm going to leave this video here and go and edit the footage, and I know that it'll be a really funny one to edit, because if anything ever like this happens in a video and you're editing it from the beginning, it's really funny to sort of see how the process evolves. Obviously I start out all hopeful about the new top that I'm making and I don't know the disaster that awaits me. Obviously in the grand scheme of things it's just a top, it doesn't matter too much. I'm well aware that there are far more important things to worry about in life. Anyway, I'll stop waffling about it now. So thank you for watching. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel and you still feel like you want to subscribe after today's video, please can I urge you to subscribe? I promise that I do make more successful sew along videos than today's has been, and I'm edging so close now to 20,000 subscribers, which I'm so grateful for. That would just be such a huge milestone for me. Take care everyone, thank you for watching, and I will see you in another video soon. Bye.